doing this, but I'll just do a bit of admin so we can get that set up.
Are you streaming it directly? How do you do that? You just
From Zoom. From Zoom.
Ah, okay. They have the setting.
Yeah, it's a paid subscription. Only the paid one you can do streams.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just a button you click, just goes live to Facebook.
Because the Facebook Live, some people do live on Facebook and the quality is not that good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems okay from the ones I've done. They're okay. I mean, it's not going to be like 4 HD or something. But it's,
I'm saying the video directly from YouTube, not YouTube, from Facebook. You can do live as well.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Facebook itself. Yeah.
Right. This is, yes. And is it Elvera as well? Is that how I say it?
Yeah, Elvera. Yeah, the middle name. Yes. Because if Claire Wu is too common, my friend, it's too common.
Yeah, let's put it in, make it a little bit special.
Yeah.
I like Elvera. It's unique. I've not heard it before.
Yeah, it's a bit like Avril, isn't it Avril Lavigne? The Avril, it's coming from there. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was trying to sort out my middle name, so I was thinking, I need something memorable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to tag you now. Yep, you're tagged. Okay. I'm just clicking the button go live, yeah?
Yeah.
Then. And we are live, Claire.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. We are back for a live. I've got a special guest with me tonight, Claire Elvera Wu. She is a holistic career coach and expert on body, mind, and career wellness. So welcome, Claire.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. If you're tuning in from the Australian time zone.
Good evening. How are you going lately?
Good. I've been feeling quite well since the lockdown has been lifted in Melbourne. Yeah.
Yes. Claire and I are both from Melbourne, so it's such a relief that we can now be normal human beings and go out of the house. So we're very, very fortunate to come out of this situation. And that's really positive news.
Yes. So we have more freedom now. We're able to travel more than 25K. No more curfews, and we can go to the bars and go to the hiking spot. So quite a relief here.
Yeah, so it's really refreshing like that. So Claire, you've got a very interesting background. I know we briefly spoke. I met Claire through Facebook. Had just something about her that attracted me to her, so I started talking to her. And you've got a really interesting background. So share a little bit about yourself and your journey to coaching.
Yeah, so I am a physiotherapist by trade. I'm also an international qualified Pilates teacher. So I started my, my coaching journey, 10 years ago. I didn't know I'll become a career coach. I didn't know that this kind of career exists. And 10 years ago, I was just thinking that I want to see the world. I want to explore. I want to grow. And then I was a qualified physio back in Taiwan, and I had my international license in Pilates. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to travel. So I went to Finland. I worked there, and I worked in Singapore, and then I relocated to Melbourne, and now I'm based in Melbourne. So basically, this 10 years of like traveling has really helped me develop my expertise as a physio, and also a lot of personal growth as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I embody the profession as a coach. So like so easily, so naturally.
Yeah. And I love that you have had a lot of experience, not only in the health side of things and wellness, but also, I guess, taking that experience of traveling into the work that you do now. Because our topic tonight is how to navigate uncertainty in challenging times. So we want to open up that discussion tonight, and I want to ask, to start off with, like, what have you learned from, I guess, like, uncertainty based on your experience with the changes that you've gone through and the places that you visited where you've positioned yourself? How has that sort of helped you deal with uncertainty and challenges?
Yes. So I guess when I first graduated, I thought, okay, I have my life planned out. I have my career planned out all the way until I'm retired. That was my plan. And it was very interesting because when you travel, when I first, when the first country that I went to was Finland, I studied there for my master. And that sort of opened my horizons and changed the way I see things and changed my perspective. I suddenly realized, okay, I actually, don't need to do a master or a PhD to, at that time, I really want to open my business. And then I was, I don't need that to do my business. I actually just need to have the skills and then the people to do business. And that sort of set me in a tone that I realized, I've got to go and, learn more about what I was passionate about at that time was, movement, chronic pain, and Pilates. So then I just thought, okay, I'm just going to, send my resume all over the world and see wherever I land, and I'll go there. Yeah, it's very, very straightforward. I guess I'm that kind of person who's often too much, or maybe too much, like being out of the comfort zone. Like it feels comfortable for me to be out of the comfort zone. I guess that's come down to a personality that I'm quite adventurous. I am quite liberated, and I'm easy to open up to new things. So
was that just a natural thing that you have sort of had in yourself from a young age, like that adventurous spirit, and just willing to jump into the unknown?
Not really, because my family are not like that. My family are, one have a PhD, one have a master. They both are in academics. They're very reserved and very conservative. So I was always very different, and I knew I was different. And in the Asian societies, they were trying to mold you, everyone, to the same type of person. Become a doctor, lawyer, accounting, whatever.
Fit into the box.
Into a box, behave in a certain way, dress in a certain way, talk in a certain way, and I just never feel fit in. And at that time, I was very kind of depressed and being compressed, and it was not a very comfortable journey. Like being in Asia, Southeast Asia, was like really, I feel like I was not myself. But prior to that, I have a few years in the States, so I had that kind of exposure to different culture and different experiences, different values. But when I returned to Southeast Asia, it was a culture shock, like a culture shock for me. So I was being put in the box. I was told what to do, what to wear, who to hang out with. And I know I was fighting that. I think that's why my mental health kind of take toll on that. And I was very grateful in uni. So actually in uni, I had come across counseling and psychotherapy. It was very, very helpful to help me to relearn and to rediscover about myself. And I realized that, so I started to explore different, school clubs, and I start to explore different universities and different, I guess, people from other regions, and that opens up as well. So I recognize that, talking to people, hanging out with people from different places and from different university, it's quite interesting, and actually like that. And I think that, noticing what you really enjoy doing and what you think, also what other things that you're good at, it is also a key to knowing yourself a bit more. So that's when I realized, actually, I'm actually quite adventurous. I'm still an adventurous person. I'm still an outgoing and open-minded person. And that's when I decided, I'm just going to study abroad and see how things go.
Yeah. So you really just let that natural intuition lead your life in those moments.
Yes. I think that when you have rock bottom, with your life, like when you are very, so basically I was trying to follow the society values. I was trying to get in the best uni and become a doctor and all that stuff. And I didn't get that. And then my family were quite disappointed. However, I was very thankful because I was very sad and kind of depressed. And then you just go about thinking, ruminating how bad and how terrible I was as a kid, and then I was very happy that I stumbled over the counselors. And forever grateful of that, because really it really opens up. They really challenge my my thinking, my thoughts, my feelings, and my behavior as well. So it just really changed me. I start to be very active. I start to participate in a lot of extra curriculum. I start to hang out with students from other uni, and that really, and also from overseas as well. So that just really opens up, and then I realized like this is actually what makes me really happy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really resonate with the fact, like the whole rock bottom thing. I think I've not only myself, but there's a lot of people who hit that phase, and that's when it sort of sprouts into like a new chapter or a new self. There's that kind of pain to motivation. What would you say, like, for people who sort of are sailing through life, kind of feeling a little bit stuck, dealing with, not really sure what to do, not really sure what they're good at naturally, but they don't really hit quite the rock bottom, like emotionally, mentally, physically. They're kind of just cruising along. And that, I guess, if you don't have the rock bottom, it is hard to sort of spurt into a new direction. Like there's a lot of risks, there's a lot of unknowns. What would you say to that? Like, how does someone then go and transition if they have no idea where to start or even what they're good at?
Yeah, so actually I have a couple of coaching clients that are like they're just sailing through life. There's not really much ups and not much downs. I think you don't have to rock bottom to find brought out or to really to rediscover and relearn about yourself. I think anytime if you're feeling really stuck, it actually indicates something. It actually indicates that the environment might not be right. That's where I've been feeling over the past few different countries. I think that stuck feeling is an indication, because your feelings and your emotions are the compass to what you really want in life. So even just that, and like that stuck, that something niggling, it's not comfortable. So it doesn't mean that you have to take really big action. You have to quit and change job the next day, or quit a relationship and find someone else the next day. It's all about getting to know yourself a little bit more. Like you can do a personality test, like this test that you can also see what's like an objective descriptions of who you are as a person. And also you can do like a natural strength test. It's a Clifton strength test that I recommend. Is that it's more work related strength test to know what you are good at. Those are objective tests. We also have VIA test. It's a value-based test, so it's more about value-oriented strengths. Besides that, you can also get a bit more subjective sort of introspection, knowing if you're not really sure what you're good at, maybe look at what you enjoy doing. Also ask people around you, like what do they usually come to you for advice. It could be any advice. It can be text, it can be relationship, it can be other things like food. It can be anything. Also, like ask the people around you, like what do they think that you're good at.
That's a good one too. Yeah, that's one that I've not really thought about, but I think is kind of foreign. Sometimes you don't really want, like, it's kind of weird to go and ask someone like, what do you think I'm good at? But that's really powerful though, to get that third party perspective.
Yeah, because most people feel like when we have this exercise with our clients, it's like some of them feel like they're trying to get validation from other people. Like they feel like they are fishing for compliments. But what we're seeing is that actually, sometimes because you're so good at something that it comes so naturally that you don't think that you're good at it. You're too close to your own strength that it's hard to see.
Yeah, because then you're in your own bubble as well.
Yeah, you're in your own bubble.
Like,
yeah. So besides the objective, though, the objective tests are really powerful because they are, scientific based, they're psychology based as well. They've been around for 10, 20 years. That's what I recommend, but also getting that, feedback from the people around you. like your family, your colleagues, your close friends, and then just getting that, more subjective also from other people, the feedback of who you are as a person. It will just teach you different aspects, or open a different perspective about who you are as a person.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And in terms of, I guess, your experience, because you've changed as well, or you've molded into different paths from the physio to the Pilates into the career coaching, like both on the very different spectrums. Obviously, you've got the health, but then I guess this is more psychology in a sense, and dealing with human behavior. So, I mean, how have you sort of discovered that for yourself, that natural sort of transition, or was it natural, or was like, can you enlighten us on that?
Yeah, sure. So I've always wanted to be a psychotherapist. Like, I always wanted to study psychology, but I was not allowed to because of my family background. They're very traditional. So on that note, I think as a positive, like, I have a strength called positivity. As a very positive person, I thought, okay, I might as well study physio. I can work on my anatomy and, all the other like solid science stuff, and I can study psychology on the side. So I've always read psychology books on the side, and I've taken courses related to like positive psychology, behavioral psychology, and other related therapy sessions that it's like just for my own interest. And then I recognize that, because I was so into psychology and psychotherapy and anything related to psychology, I started to apply that when I was working with clients. So, because I noticed that it's very common among because I was really into chronic pain. That means pain that lasts more than 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, and never goes away. So we have a lot of that type of patients and clients, especially when I was working in Singapore. And I realized there's a theme to that chronic pain. It's not just the body; it's a lot about the mind as well. So usually those clients that I deal with back pain and neck pain, they usually have they have really like a negative perspective on their work. They usually overwork. They are not happy in the working environment. They have like a toxic work environment, and they're continuously complaining and then criticizing, and then a lot of time it leaves at, it's not just the present, it's a lot of time related to their past experiences and their past life trauma or anything that's a bit more negative memories, and it's all tied up together, because I guess that's how that body affect the mind. That's where they constantly have that negativity, and then that could be associated with the pain as well. I mean, the pain could be coming from really poor posture, or poor technique in some movement, but then because that was associated with work, so it all ties together, and it becomes a vicious cycle, because they're feeling pain, they're feeling negative again, like, I'll never get better, I'll never deal with this pain, I'll never handle, and then I'll never handle the stress at work, and it becomes again aggravate the pain, and then it just intense that pain again, and that pain again feeds into that negative thinking. Like, it just is a vicious
and it's like cycle. A loop.
It's like a loop, yes. So I find that very fascinating, and because I was interested in psychology and chronic pain, so I was like, oh, I might as well just coach a little bit on that and see how that goes.
Is it coaching in your physio session?
So I enjoy teaching exercise and doing dry needling and some hands-on, but then I love speaking to my clients, because I found that similar pattern in them with chronic pain. So I will coach, I'll start asking them questions. So I'll be like, oh, so what's they will be like telling me they're working like 12 hours, 14 hours, and and then they're very stressed, and I'm like, so who is asking you to work this late? Like, I start asking them questions, and then kind of unravel that sort of workaholism or like a perfectionism that they have within them, and then it will always lead to, like, they are so fearful of letting down other people. They're fearful of not good enough. They're fearful of not able to meet up expectations, even though they don't like the work environment. And I'm like, there's this pattern there. Yeah, so that was very interesting. Yeah,
and that's where I guess the body mind connection is all sort of related, where I mean, well, a lot of what you're saying really resonates with me as well. And I think in the past, because I went through burnout in my corporate job, and I was doing a lot of physical activity as well, but I was also going to the doctors and the physio, like chiro, like quite a lot. I had a lot of pain in my body, but it wasn't until I really went and deeply unraveled what is the source of the pain. It was actually more of a mental thing in me as well, like where it was just this loop where I was like, oh, I'm in pain, oh, maybe I should train more, maybe I should do more, then I get injured, then it's like, oh, now I still hate my job, oh, now, like, you know, and then having all these emotions of oh, now I'm unproductive, now I'm too injured, can't go to work, don't feel like working, like it's just, so much of that I feel
it's a vicious cycle. And then I mean, we have some clients, and like at the physio clinic, it was like that. They basically they don't like their job, but then they push really hard, and then at the side note, because they are so stressed and they're so unhappy with their job, and then they went like hiking, they went, you know, training in the gym, they pushed really hard, and then they got injured, and then you just repeatedly treating them. So what I got frustrated was like, I keep repeating to treat the symptoms, like injuries, but then that injury source coming from them like overdoing things, like over pushing everything. It's too much, because they want to compensate something that they are missing within themselves. And I was like, you know, because you treat up to a point that you're like, you know, I don't want to, like, it's like you're trying to, you're trying to fix up something that's keep coming back, and then you're like, you know, sometimes you really want to refer them to a psychologist, but you cannot really say it because they're very high level up. So then you'll be like, I'm gonna start trying to coach this person and see, because a lot of time they wouldn't want to admit that they want to quit their job. It's really hard for them, because they have met the society expectations. They have done so well. They look shining. They look amazing on the outside. That's the hardest part. Is that ego part of it. It will take quite some time for us to know them, to work on their pain until they trust you a little bit more, and then you can move a little bit to the mindset, but not even the career part yet. It's all like the mindset that they have in the training, that you have to teach them to pace, you know, to slow down, to be, you know, content with the progress now, and knowing that they could get better, and knowing that, you know, if they don't lift this heavy, doesn't mean that they're not good. It's just that they're not there yet. It's a pacing. It's a process. And then you can move to career once that part is done. It's a slow process.
It's a layer, like an onion. There's like, you know, the mindset part. That's a lot of sort of my specialty as well, is just working with, you know, whatever that people are wanting, fulfillment, getting out of pain, stuck energy, like all of the stuff that you're talking about is all that stuff that's stuck in our bodies, whether it manifests as pain or whether it's just like emotion. It's like, if you don't really get the number one step of the mind right, of how you think and how you act and feel, then it's sort of just going to, you can't even have that conversation about changing jobs.
That would be
because that would be a very scary thing to do. It's like, oh, I've invested all of my years and my master's degree and my time and my money and pleasing all my bosses to get to where I am, as if I'm going to just go and quit. Like, what is this? You know, why would I change my career?
They will think that you like a witch or something. But it's a process, and then it will take like quite a bit of time until they gain more self-awareness, more self-confidence, to realize that, you know, they actually deserve a better workplace and a better job, and, you know, a better work environment.
So in the work that you do you take people through this kind of process of like shifting maybe mindset first, or is there sort of certain steps before you even touch on the career, or is it like people come to you and they're like, oh yeah, I want to change my career, and then you work on that?
It really depends on the clients, because every client is different. So in the holistic career coaching is we do usually 19 minutes, because 90 minutes is what I find the most, like, we can go really deep with the timing. And then in that we have 15 minutes of mindful Pilates, which we're trying to just really to use that Pilates as a tool to connect yourself with your body and mind, to be more present in the now, because I find that there's a lot of disconnections when especially those high achievers, like if they are stressed and they're anxious, they tend to disconnect, and then they make a decision when they do something that they actually don't want to do. So I want them to like ease to their body, like be present, and that gives more clarity in their head as well. So in that, after that, then we go into like mindset and career coaching. But usually in career coaching, there's a half of it will be the mindset coaching. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it really depends. So it could be half. It really depends on where the clients are at. Some of them, they are so like they are perfectionists. They're very caught up in their anxiety of feeling like failure, or a lot of imposter syndrome, feeling not good enough, a lot of procrastinations, a lot of self-sabotage, and it would take time to work on that as well. But at times, like when we're doing, so usually when they come in with the question, it's not usually the question. So you know when the
okay,
yeah,
that's
so when the
interesting.
clients come in, when they tell you, Claire, I'm not sure if I want to open a business or, you know, become a finance consultant. Like, you know, this is not really the question. It's not the question.
Yeah, right.
Because as a coach, we don't really give answers. Our job is to clarify, to distill, and to validate, to confirm what they really want. Our job is to, you know, let the clients be themselves, and then, you know, allow the space for them to reflect and just really to move forward. So when they come in with such questions, and I'm always like, okay, tell me a little bit more about it. Like, what steps have you taken? And then like to become a finance consultant, or what steps have you taken to try to set up your own business? So you will unravel from there and down, and then, you know, going into like, if this is what they really want, or is it the society expectations?
Yeah.
Or are they confused because it's hard, comfortable to be confused?
It's so hard. Like, yeah, you're a bit disillusioned. It's like denial, like disillusion. Like it's hard because we grow up and we get so ingrained with like the condition of the society and what our parents and friends and people are doing, and our ego. That's the biggest part. That we can't actually see what the truth is or what the real reality is, just for what we are or where or what stage of life that we're in. So that's pretty, so hence the value of a coach to help us get clear about you know, what it is that is really true for us, and how do we actually take steps towards what we actually want.
Yeah, it's like in the matrix. Yeah, you feel like you're living in the world that, especially now with you know, social media, with different type of trends, it's so easy to caught up into, you know, and FOMO. It's so easy to caught up into chasing the success that other people have, and what you think other people want you to have, but people don't really care that much as you do. So
you get one of these, right, and then you just go on Instagram, first picture comes up, and like someone's on a holiday, it's like, oh, that's success, oh my god, I want that, like, oh my god, I can't believe they're there. It's just, there's so much of that in our face now that it's hard to distinguish what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it's also hard to distinguish like what you really want, and then I think that's why people are feeling stuck. Otherwise you feel like you're in the flow, right? Like you're in the flow when you're working, but people feel stuck because those elements are not aligned. And I think the elements is not just like your own it's not just your own expectations, but also like, you know, who you really are as a person, like what your strengths are, what your values are, like really the basic things, and, you know, what work environment you want to be in, and what sort of lifestyle you want to lead. You know? It's easy to be caught up to, you know, to compare to other, you know, other people's life. So I think that's what the coach's like biggest job and biggest duties are, in that, you know, to really to clarify to clarify what the person really wants, like for themselves.
Help them rediscover as well what the truth is. I want to actually, I have this burning question to ask about about because career coaching, right, it's not something that like first comes up to my mind. I mean, I've had a career coach myself, but like for the everyday person, it's not something that immediately, if they're unhappy about their jobs, I don't think, oh, I'm going to go and find a career coach. It's not like that kind of thing that comes up. I've had a background in recruitment as well, so you know, shifting people from job to job, so which also incorporates a bit of the coaching side as well, because you get quite personal with people. But what would be the difference between like, why would someone want to go to a career coach versus, oh, why can't I just go on to Seek, on it online, find a job, change jobs, or go to a recruitment consultant and just get a shift in my job? What do you think?
So that sort of approach is a short fix. Yeah, so if someone's not happy at their job, a lot of time they just want to quit, change to a different job. They will look through Seek, Indeed, LinkedIn, whatever, will they get a headhunter with recruiting in an agency and get there. But it's not that simple, because it's more to a job than, because it's like a quick fix. It's like, if today you have pain in your shoulders and then you want to go for a massage,
go for a massage,
put a cream on and you'll get better, but it never got better. It just get worse. That's what most people think. So then they think the quick fix is to, just change the environment and then everything will be fine. But if you change the environment to, if you're lucky, you get to the right environment, that's fine. But then usually most of the cases, I think 90% of it is that if you're already in the wrong job, it's highly likely that you get into a wrong job as well again, because there's that tendency of, because you do not understand yourself well enough, and then there might be a lot of limiting belief. There might be a lot of, self-sabotage, self-doubt, low self-confidence, that lead them into, again, the same job that is not the right fit. So that's why we provide more, because there are a lot of career coaches out there. There's a lot more like corporate or more just a personality test, and then usually they do 1 session or 2 sessions, and then they have the personality test or a special test, and then they talk to you for 1 session, and then you're gone. They'll give you different job titles and possibility for you, and it might work for some people, but most people I know coming out of that type of coaching are not satisfied, because they feel they are kind of being labeled as certain titles and then allocate to certain places. But yeah, to be honest with you, the job market is constantly changing. New jobs are coming out, new titles are coming out. You can even negotiate, your own job duties and responsibilities.
Create your own.
Yeah, you can definitely create your own on top of what you saw, or pitch yourself in, because the more you understand yourself, the more understand who you are, what you're good at, what your strengths are, what suits you, where you really thrive. It will create more opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even when you say that as well, what comes up to mind is if you're in the wrong job or environment, or you're not aligned with your values or the skills that you are in, whatever job or career that you're in, that actually can then create, whether it's chronic pain or some physical pain or some emotional pain, because there is just something that is not aligned truly with what your nature is. And until you discover it for what it is for yourself, what your real path is, or what your purpose is, whatever it is that brings you the natural joy, and you can bring your natural gifts and align that as well, and your value, then the pain, in my own experience, the pain goes away, or at least it reduces.
Yeah, exactly. So, because when we do the strength test that we're seeing is that it will show also your lesser strength. Like we try not to call it the weakness, but some parts that you're not naturally good at. And my personal experience is I'm not naturally good at being analytics, and so I'm not really
analytical
and analysis things. So I can work on it. I keep improving my weakness. That's what my family has taught me, but then it still doesn't come naturally. And I'm constantly feeling really stressed. So at some part in my clinical work, I'm always constantly feeling stressed, because that doesn't come naturally to me. Like I'm constantly feeling I do need to analyze, but I can cover this with other strengths, like being communicative, being a learner, being an achiever, but then it still will be an underlying stress for me. So it's the traditional ideas is to improve your weakness, to work on your weakness, and I've seen that throughout this few years, like this concept has changed. People want you to just leverage your strength, really to work towards your strength, lean in your strength. People have much happier life and career with just working with their strength. And this strength, what I'm talking about, is the strength that comes naturally to you, that comes easily to you, and it ties with the talents as well.
That's so powerful.
Instead of trying to improve what you're not good at, and it usually will result you in the work environment that you don't enjoy, and that becomes a vicious cycle as well. Because when you're in an environment that you don't enjoy, you feel less confident, you feel more insecure, feeling not good, feeling just out of place, and feeling lonely, you don't belong, and then it's a vicious cycle again. So and that's what it will cause pain, physically, mentally, emotionally. So it's very important to really to lean into what you're good at.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that energy. I'm not sure if this is actually the right term, but when we have different energies of feminine and the masculine, the feminine is more like going with the flow, going with our intuition and our natural abilities, and understanding that could, like whatever comes will come, and whatever's meant to be will be. But then there's the masculine energy side where we are pushing, we are like being logical, trying to create things. And that masculine energy comes into play, like when a lot of like women, particularly in the workplace, if you're trying to be productive or trying to structure and organize and all of that, that's all coming from the masculine energy, because you want to be like in control of the situation. And sometimes if you are, I think from what you're saying, if you are working from your weaknesses and trying to improve that, or you're not in the right environment, then a lot of that like energy gets imbalanced as well, because you're using something that is not really aligned to you, rather than going with the flow, and you feel like really fatigued or exhausted from constantly striving. So rather than actually being and going with your natural flow. So I don't know, that's something that just came up.
That's another interesting topic, the masculine and feminine energy.
That's a whole nother interview. But I want to go back to COVID, right?
Sure,
we've all been through uncertainty during these times. And I think there is a lot of fear out there, where people, because of this pause period that we've been in, and maybe a lot of people have lost jobs, or they're unhappy currently, whether they're working from home or whatever the situation is, and they're thinking about change. But then they think, because we don't know what the opportunities are, how do I create my own path? Like there's a lot of maybe wanting to change but staying stuck, and then are fearful of changing jobs and all of that. Any advice around navigating that side of things in the workforce?
So I guess what COVID has really taught us is that nothing is certain. Basically, nothing is certain. What you were used to 6 months ago now could be gone. Like
the plan.
Now can be gone. A lot of companies went out of business. They never come back. A lot of company merged, a lot of company being separated, they're being bought by other company overseas. And then, it's a lot of things happening. So the thing is, people think their 9 to 5, their full-time work or their current job, it's certain, but actually no, nothing is certain. It's just, I think it's a human brain of, want to be in control, want to be in certainty, so that we feel comfortable. And we feel more secure, but nothing is certain. So really, to have that in mind, that the world is constantly changing. The world is constantly rebuilding, and we have AI data. We have no idea that technology could be so much into our world nowadays. It's just 10 years ago, there's nothing called the AI, the robots, or some of the social media. Some of the company were not even existed 10 years ago. You look at the job list, a lot of them, I don't think half, but maybe 20-30% were not existing like 10 years ago. So I believe the same thing will happen in the next 10 years. Like many of the jobs will not be there, and many of the jobs will come out that's new, that's created based on the needs of people. So and the current situation. So I guess it's really the only certain part that you have is yourself, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, what you do, what you're good at, what your strengths are, and what you enjoy doing, what you don't like. That might change, but that's all within your own control, because that's you, that's who you are. Whereas the outside world, it's constantly evolving. Like we never know, some pandemic will hit this bad, and during this time, and we're not allowed to travel. We have lost a lot of people, and other things. So it's difficult to navigate, really, to know like when uncertainty is going to happen. But the only thing is, really knowing yourself, it's what's going to be very certain.
Yeah.
And if you're stuck, really, it's when you have time, working from home, it's a time to pause and to rethink about what you really want in your life and really what you want in your career. Yeah, because I think this is it's a good time to reflect and to introspect to yourself. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to
You
really,
get like the opportunity to do
you get
that,
the
then
opportunities, and you also get the space and the time as well. Yeah.
yeah. That's wonderful. That is so powerful, what you've just left us with the only thing that's certain is yourself. So that was a big lesson even for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Claire. This has been such an insightful conversation. And I just wonder, like, if anyone wants to reach out to you or get some more help in that side of the career side of things, or whether it's mindset and body-mind connection, where is best to reach you?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, Claire Elvera Wu.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me through there. Just shoot me a private message. And yeah, we also offer like a free 30-minute career wellness assessment. So we can put that in the
Right.
link. So yeah, if
Cool.
you are just unsure, you're just stuck and, unsure what you want, you're feeling not very well, or you have a direction, but you don't know how to get there, and just booking a call. Yeah, have a chat with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Claire will look after you.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Oh, we also have a podcast. So if you're really struggling in your job that you do,
Subscribed. I subscribed.
thank you. It's called Career Wellness Suite. So it's basically a podcast with fortnightly interviews with career changes, people who made through different careers, and also a bit of more self introspection of helping you to get into the job that really fits. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being my guest this evening. It's been wonderful chatting to you, and I'd love to stay connected. And yeah, if anyone has any questions after this interview, if you want to just drop your questions or any comments in the chat, then yeah, Claire and I will get back to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Talk to you
You
soon.
too. Bye.
Bye.